Morning, everybody. Michelle is here on this Thursday. Uh, Up early this morning, looking out the window, and it looks overcast, but it's nice. I'm not sure. I got up and it said it was like 68 degrees, and I'm like, what? I don't know if that was an error or what. It could be. I don't know. Um, Considering that it's been triple digits since I've been here, so I thought that was kind of interesting. But I just wanted to come in and while I'm thinking about some things and reflecting and give a kind of a uh, not a summary per se, but give you a beginning perspective of what I'm doing and and how it relates to reality. Okay, because before I left the East Coast, I had I had some plans laid out, of course. Um, I talked about a journey, right? I talked about vision, right? And I talked about the fact that there's certainty versus uncertainty, right? I've told you that it's crucial, and almost inescapable to have experiences. You have to have some type of life experiences. Otherwise, you're kidding yourself, actually, and you're cheating yourself and you're cheating others. Okay, you need experiences. Okay, because otherwise, uh, I just don't know how I would have made it this far. Not so when I say made it this far as far as my consciousness is a concern. Am I developing and literally getting to this space where I am now? I'm in another state on the West Coast, and enjoying the moments as you know as best I can. To be honest, there have not been anything that I could not handle. How about that? There have been things that happened that I was able to handle based on experiences, having these similar experiences before or similar situations. Um, so, so like I said, I came through. I made these plans on the East Coast. I had these, I had a journey set out. Plans, a journey set out. I had some visions from when I was a younger girl. I had dreams and this and that and the other. And so all of those are like breadcrumbs, actually, of a bigger picture, that we all have to deal with, have to face, have to set out and seek and discover and get verification, get confirmation, get validation. All those things are necessary. I know a lot of people like to minimize a lot of things, and that's fine. I mean, that's typical. We are so typical in doing that kind of thing because no one actually walks the talk. We do a lot of talking, and we need to accept that and not necessarily um, um, be offended by that. You know what I mean? Most of us are not walking the talk. So, but a lot of us are have the good intentions of uh, wanting to help. Okay, and but sometimes at the expense of causing more harm than good, right? Being interfering more so than necessary. All right, and it's the same thing about the planet. I can guarantee that people really actually do love planet Earth. Okay, I can sense it that people actually and genuinely love planet Earth. Why? Because well, where else are we going? Honestly, but for the fact that people get goosebumps when they talk about certain areas of Earth and what Earth is providing us, and what Earth represents, and what what Earth is. It's a living being, providing us with water, sun. Water, food, shelter, clothes. Earth is the best parent, right? Earth is a parent too. Well, not the best parent, but Earth is a parent to us too. You know, Mother Earth. That's why they say Mother Earth. But at the same time, but at the same time, as a parent to us, let's talk literal. When we have our parents, our parents can do everything they can to give us the guidance we need to be good people, good, genuine, upstanding human beings, right? And they can do, they can do the best that they can, but still, either their child ends up doing this or their child ends up doing that. Let me say that again, because I sound like their child ends up in certain situations that the parent did not wished for, wanted, and so forth and so on. And so a lot of times we like, again, a lot of times we like to blame somebody for something, right? Nobody likes to take on self-responsibility and self-accountability for nothing in most cases. So if we like to blame our parents, our literal parents, then we need to be blaming planet Earth too. Is planet Earth at fault as well? For the ills and the wheels, for the destruction, degeneration, the encasement of negativity, the fraud, the scamming, the manipulation, lies, indoctrinations. Is planet Earth responsible for that too? So that's just where we are, and it's gonna take millions and millions of years, and I don't even know if and honestly, I don't know if this planet will even survive that millions and millions of years. Honestly, I do know that humans will not on this planet. No, that's my opinion. Like I said, virtually most of us are going to get wiped out at some point in the future, and then it'll just have to start over. But there's always survivors, right? I've always, so I'm just kind of repeating and kind of, what is the word? Summarizing somewhat, not summarizing, but anyway. So when I dealt with the reality of traveling over to the West Coast in my vehicle, I'm glad I was by myself. I said that because of certain things going on with the planet. There's nothing glamorous about it. Anybody says it, they're lying to you. But that's fine. We don't. You don't have to admit anything about anything. Just be, as long as you're being honest with yourself, then that's fine. That's all you need to be honest about. I know a lot of people get on social media and just get all carried away about stuff, and that's fine. You can do whatever you want to do. Like I said, I remember a lot of people getting all worked up and carrying on about Joshua Tree. I wonder when was the last time they were there. A lot of people so like I said, a lot of people are living out their fantasies and projecting that it's still that kind of reality in reality. They still think that same reality exists. I'm telling you, it doesn't. Okay, but you won't know that until you travel these paths, travel a path yourself. But be mindful. Travel the path that is meant for you. Don't attempt to travel my path, because you may not make it. That's all I'm saying. Okay, because I have experience and I know what to do. Don't think that I don't panic when I know I'm in a mountainous region with no cell phone signals. Most people will panic. And what if something would happen to my vehicle? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm saying this. The journey is one thing. The plans are one thing when you make your plans. The journey is something else when you start to initially take the effort to take that journey, move towards your aligned path. Okay, it's going to open up some realities to you that you may not had expected, and that's the uncertainty and uncertainty part. Okay, so again, I did what I had sought out to do. I ran into the things that I knew I would have. I got through them. Like I said, the infrastructure problems, the the extremeness of the weather. Okay, the reliance on my vehicle, and I'm so happy my vehicle, the vehicle I had, made it through it all. I since turned it back in, and got another one, but that particular vehicle served its purpose, and sometimes certain things do serve their purpose, and then you just have to let them go, okay, and move on to something else, right? Now, the most difficult part about any path in your life is it's not so much when you're dealing with factors that you expect. It's the unexpected factors. And that usually happens when you're dealing with human beings. All right. Human beings are so unpredictable. So, there's a reality when you're dealing with human beings that is never, you never know. You never know how a human being is going to react, and whether they, so whether certain circumstances are met. Because like I said, a lot of times we just, not to say that, I expect everybody to do what they say they're going to do, or I expect people to be able to do this, or I really don't have any expectations on people. All I do is say, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Will you do this? Will you do that? And it's really free will for anybody to do whatever they want to do. They were, like the circumstances that I had. A lot of times, like I said, we are in each other's way. We're blocking each other's path. And we're standing there for no reason, just because. And like I said, a lot of people are rooting for your failure, and a lot of people are not rooting for your success. Keep that in mind. And I'm going to come back in a little bit and talk about that in a little bit more detail, about how people are actually secretly rooting for your failure, even though they'll like your post, they'll follow you, and this is that same factor that I talked about a while back about jealousy and envy, and people hate parade. They actually hate you, but they're masquerading it in the fact that they love you, just because. And I told you it's the same type of energy and frequency, love and hate. And when someone hates, they can't see love, but they know how to masquerade it. But when you are love, like self-love, you can see the hate. You know the difference between love and hate. But when you are in hate, you don't know the difference. Okay, I hope that makes sense. And it will. I think I speak clearly and effectively, and I go into enough details that that any layperson can understand what I'm saying, and think about it, contemplate, and use metaphors. Think on a spiritual level, think on a material level, think on an immaterial level, think on make sure it's neutralized, and keep everything under control, especially your feelings and emotions. Because I'm just going to say this, it's going to be a bumpy ride. It's going to be a bumpy ride. And I already can sense it. I see it. I'm going to keep everything as theories and opinions for entertainment purposes only. Just to keep everybody, just to allow people to think for themselves. And not to say that, okay, Michelle is saying this, Michelle is saying that, Michelle is projecting. No, Michelle isn't. I am just using my skills and abilities and a lot of internal development to, and I'm also grounded in reality. Even though I love my fantasies too, I love being in fantasies too, I'm grounded in reality, and I realize, now it's going to be a bumpy ride. It's going to be a bumpy ride. So I just want to go ahead and share that this morning. Give like I said, it's not necessarily a summary, but it's just kind of summarizing where I am now. And I'm planning to take another trip. I think it's either tomorrow or the weekend. Take another trip west. Get a feel and an energy for that. And there's going to have to be some serious decisions made. That's all. That's all it is, honey. I'm gonna have to make some serious decisions, and that's fine. I know how to make decisions, but I want to make sure I'm gathering the right amount of information, the right amount of input, and so that I know that, okay, all right, this is what it is, and relying on what I know, based on snapshots of my through visualization, through reason, understanding, being rational, okay, non-delusional, not delusional at all, in reality, and facing it all head on, and doing the best I can. Like I said, to enjoy the moment. Sometimes it's difficult, and if anybody says otherwise, they're lying to you. And don't let people lie to you, or continue to lie to you. All right, you can still, get, like my lips are dried and cracked. My skin is cracked and dry. I had a few issues, going on with my body. My body is good now. It's just an adjustment, the realities. That's all I'm sharing is the realities. So trust me, I'm going to have more as the day goes on. And so I want to send peace and love to everyone all over the world, baby. And trust me, I'll be back.